Alicia?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us on,
Oh, thank you for the
um,
invite.
yes, KLP, All Things Business. We try to make sure that every business is equipped for all things business.
Mm-hmm.
So we have speakers and we have resources, and we motivate one another, um,
Yes,
and just kind of inspire each other, especially during this time,
that's right.
going on the journey of entrepreneurship, not by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but with other entrepreneurs. So I'm glad to have you on. Can you just tell people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, hey, everybody. So, like she said, my name is Alicia. And basically, what I do is provide content to help you spread your message, and to a little bit of background 30 some years as a mental health therapist. So I'm kind of bridging that to from mental health therapy to contextual therapy. My passion is actually writing and just using words to empower people. So that's pretty much where I am now, and that's where I want to go build my legacy with my business, Flex Your Voice Content Marketing. So I am excited to be talking about this today because this is where my passion is. This is where
Yeah,
I am like on top of the world, telling people how content marketing can leverage them and empower.
that's awesome. That's really awesome. I love that. Flex, you said flex your voice.
Flex your voice, content marketing. You got to be present. People got to hear your voice. So let's do it.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Wow. So I know today we're going to be talking about the 7 C's of
Yeah.
communication in regards
Yeah.
to even what you're just flexing your
Yeah.
voice.
Hmm.
So can you tell us about that? I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes.
So pretty much it's it's how to effectively communicate your brand, right? It's how to effectively show people who you are, what you can do for them, and how to bring it home. Okay, that's the best way I can say it for you,
Okay.
right? So you want me to just dive into it?
Yes,
Ready?
yes.
All right, so let's do this. So, all right, so the first one is clarity.
Mhm.
So, this is number one. It's like a seven
Yeah.
point checklist type thing, right? So, your first point is to be clear. And I'm going to tell you why that's important because you got to stand out in the crowd, right?
Mhm.
Because, well, especially, well, any industry pretty much, I would say, but in the empowerment industry, that's where I'm going to kind of like focus because
Mhm.
that's my baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If that's okay, but it stands for it goes along the line for it's seamless from it to every industry, right?
Right.
But so in honing in on my industry that I provide content for, right? So we know that the empowerment industry is so saturated. We all know that, right? One time I actually tried to punch the numbers and how many life coaches is it? How many consultants and how many
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? And that's interesting to me because there's so many out there. So that's why it's so important to be clear, and there is no misunderstanding when
Mm.
you put your message out there. There's no misunderstanding of why your target audience should choose you. So
Wow.
just be clear, okay? So, and let me say this real quick before I move to point two. You don't want people to have to read between the lines.
Mm.
You don't want people have to guess what you're doing. So that's why you have to be clear. All right. Number two, be concise. It
Mm.
may sound the same, but there's a little difference because you want to, in being concise and being clear, you want to keep it brief. You don't, I mean, even though telling your, even though communicating your brand is telling a story, but people are not reading a book,
Wow.
right? You
Right.
want you want to keep them interested, get right to the point, be very concise, but also a last point here is make sure you don't repeat yourself. Don't be repetitious. You know, if you've said what you've done, if you said this, if you said that, when you go through your story, make it flow to the opening, to the end, and make sure that they're reading your story. Be
Mm.
concise. Don't have people going back and forth. Just tell your story. All right.
Wow.
Number 3, be concrete. That just simply means be laser sharp focused.
I like that.
Be concrete. You got a clear picture of what you're telling your folks, right? From the beginning. When I write content, that first line or that first paragraph especially has to grab them quickly, because people, let's face it, it's a microwave society,
Hmm.
right? So people are, if you don't got them, you ain't getting them. I mean, the
Right.
bottom line. So they're coming to you to read your source, your resource, for a reason, because they're looking for something. And we want you to be able to give them that something immediately, right? So that's be concrete.
Now I have
Focus.
a question, real quick.
Sure.
So that's for like all your platforms too, like your website, your social media, like all that has to work together, right?
It all has to flow. It all has to flow. Because one thing I've noticed is, because I'm a big researcher and always have been, right? I
Right.
love to, and that's how I got into content marketing, because I said one day, if I just tell us a little story real quick. So one
Yeah.
day I was like, you know what? I just want to just randomly go to different websites, right? Not even the flow was not good for me. You know what I'm saying? But not even that. You got to be air free, which is one of the 7 points. But it's about, when I went to your social media after I read your website, what? You're all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Mm,
huge, because if you're trying to establish loyalty, how are you going to do that? Credibility, how are you going to do that if people seeing different things everywhere,
mm.
right? So all that has to flow. So that was a good question. All that has to flow.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So point 4, be correct. All right. Correctness. That's all about double checking your mistakes. Make sure it's error free. Make sure, get this, is polished and professional.
Mm.
That is so key. So that's one of the things when I just told that story. Oh my God, errors and
Hmm.
mistakes will send folks running quickly.
Yeah.
That's if
Yeah.
they want to pay for quality. Anybody will pay for anything. Oh, this person is cheaper, right?
Right.
And when you're telling your story, it's not trying to say, you're not being salesy, but at the same time, if you want to attract people who say, okay, I'll pay a $10, but if you get the right person and that $10 turns into 50, but you're paying for quality.
Hmm.
So if you don't mind non-incorrectness, it's okay. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But you're a professional. You want to show people that you're professional. Let it
Yeah.
be polished. Polish your communication,
Hmm.
right? Number 5 point, be coherent, right? So logical, connect relevant points. And let me expand on that. That's all about flow, right?
Hmm.
So you start your story out with main points. This is why I do what I do. But then you explain that going down. One of the major things that I like to do for my customers is doing their bios. And let me tell you,
Mm.
because a bio sets the stage,
Yes.
who you are and why you do what you do. I absolutely enjoy writing bios for people because my thing is I become your brand. And when I complete your bio and I go back to read it to do my proofreading, editing, and everything, because I'm going to make sure my stuff is concrete, right? Because I got what I'm telling you I have to do. But when I go back and I read your bio, I feel like I'm your brand. I feel like I know this person, and now I can see why you do what you do. Right? So you got to be able to do that. And that goes back to the saturation. Everybody has a unique selling point. Everybody has a value proposition. That's a whole different platform. That's a whole different conversation right there. I can
Right,
go
right.
on and on about value proposition and telling why you do what you do. Your unique selling points. That's a whole different conversation. We got to come back to that, right?
Yes. So I have a
So
question. I have a question
sure,
for you. So for those like me, like I'm more of a visionary. And
right,
so I know everything I want. I know everything, like I can see it. I
right.
know everything, how it maybe it should be, how it should look, or whatever, or what I want to be the outcome of something that's written, or what I want it to speak, when
Right.
someone reads it. But I can't put it into words.
Words.
So is that what you are able to do as well? Because
That's what I do. I'm a storyteller. You know what I'm saying? I'm an empath. You know what I'm saying? I listen, then I'm able to put that. I'm able to write that story for you. And that's the thing about storytelling. It is your vision.
yeah.
The end product is your vision, right? So I hear that when have a consultation with you. I hear that. And one of the key parts of that is interpersonal effectiveness skills. Now, so I can talk all day about this. All right. So interpersonal effective skills, it's all about being able to understand the emotions of others, right?
That's good.
And that's where I'm coming from when I write your story, right?
Okay.
So then all of these things, I've said 5 points so far, all of these things play into that. Being
Right.
interpersonally effective but at the same time, you're laser focused on what you want your customers to understand about you
Yeah.
and what you can do for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so that goes into those logical, connecting relevant points, and then that also goes into the tone and the flow of your information, your communication.
That's awesome. I'm gonna just tell them, for our group and anyone who else is watching. When I first spoke with you, and you just saying, "Oh, okay, we're just having a conversation, getting to know each other because we're
Right.
both in the same state and everything." And I was just like, yeah, I do this, I do that. You said, "Oh, so you're a connector, so you do that." And I'm like, "What in the world should I?" You just started telling me what
Yes.
in specific words and words that I probably haven't thought of, or words
Mm-hmm.
that I've never, thought of using to
Yes.
explain what I do. And that was
Yes.
just off our first conversation, which probably wasn't even
Our
a
first
conversation with each
conversation.
other.
That's right. Yeah. That's
So
what
I just want to let
that's
the
what I
viewers know that.
yes, that's what I do. That's what I do. And I because I just I listen to folks, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's why I make that connection. I consider myself, and I've been called the soul writer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because it comes from the soul and it's intuitive writing. And that's
right.
how I'm able to connect all that stuff. It's not about um being salesy. It's not
Yeah.
about everybody. Yeah, we're entrepreneurs, and the ultimate goal is to grow your business,
Hmm.
right? but it's not, you can't grow your business by being intrusive.
Mm, that's
And
awesome.
being intrusive is
Love that.
selling people stuff, throwing things at them, you know, and that's the art of content marketing in general. It, you know, is doesn't bang people in the head. It's telling a story. But my unique value point is what you just said. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I tell your story through empathy. I
yeah,
tell
that's
your
awesome.
story through understanding who you are and knowing what your ultimate goal is. I have
Mm,
the knack of being able to listen and then turn that into contextual therapy,
mm-hmm.
right? That's my unique selling point. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So number 6 is complete.
Mm,
Completeness. All right. Provide all the relevant information, of course. Make sure you're complete. All those other 5 that we named, get it all in your communication. But the bottom line of being complete, it makes sure that you give enough information that you ensure that your customer has all of that and they can make an informed decision to take action.
that's good.
Because if it's incomplete, if you don't have all that communication, your message to a point where they say, okay, wow, I get them, because you're relevant and you're complete. You're telling your whole entire story,
Mm,
right? And it's not about being personal, it's being personable. You
mm,
know what I mean? So it's about building that relationship. People can tell, people just innately can tell, something ain't right. Or what's up with that? What makes her different? That, you know, or her and him, I will say. So it's all about being complete. But at the end of the day, you do ultimately want to make that sale.
mm-hmm.
So make sure you are complete. Your information is complete, so they feel empowered enough to make a decision
Mm,
and take action and move to that next step.
that's good.
Okay, can I write a proposal now? Okay, can I get your business now? Is there any other questions?
Right.
Know what I'm saying? But they won't go have any more questions because their decision is made. Their
Right.
decision is made. The only question, the next question is, so with it, you can upsell them at that point
Mm,
because they're starting to build. You built that relationship. You've leveraged your unique selling point, and now there's loyalty. They're gonna
mm.
come back to you, and a customer can be your most effective marketing plan.
Oh, yes. I've learned that.
Yes, your
Yes.
customer is your marketing guru
Mm,
because they can share the world. They can share you with the world. You know.
mm-hmm.
All right, the last one. It's kind of a given, but people don't even think about it. Is being courteous,
Mm,
friendly, open, and honest. That's what this is all about. Always, when you're writing, always look at it from the viewpoint of your audience. What does my audience want?
mm.
What what keeps my audience up at night? What are their pain points?
I like that. What keeps my audience up at night? I like that.
What keeps them up
I
at
like
night?
it. Love it.
When you're communicating your message, make sure that's included in there. You don't have to be so direct about it. It's, again, contextual therapy. how are you how are you, for a simple term, how are you writing it? How are you, do you sound salesy? Do you sound intrusive? Are you talking in a passive aggressive tone?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Are
Mm-hmm.
you passively aggressive? Nobody wants to be knocked in the head. You know, people just want to know, would this be a good user experience for me?
Right.
That's all they want. A good, people just want to be able to contact you, get the information from you, good, engaging, honest, open, friendly communication.
Yes.
Be courteous. And I don't think that the seven C's are so much in a specific order, but at the same time, I chose to do this checklist like this because I think that's the flow of
Okay.
what I have. I strategically put them in that order
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's the flow. How I did this checklist, these 7 points, is how your bio should look.
Mm.
Is how your website about us should look.
Right.
How your, even in social media, right? So there's a strategy of how you do your social media. There's everything is so intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Be purposeful. Your purpose is to inspire and empower your audience. So
Yes.
what is your social media saying today? You know, so are you teaching them? Are you engaging them? Are you getting them interested in what you do? You know, if
Right.
your website says this, right, then it goes to your social media and it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give a little tip of what I do, and I try to do this. So you know, hold me accountable, Teresa.
Okay.
It's, hold me accountable, okay? So what I like to do is, and this is just a little tip for everybody, have a theme every week.
Yeah.
Have a theme every week. So what is your business is about, right? So last week my thing was value proposition and how content and value proposition can help you grow your business. So I
Yeah.
put posts out on my social media every day of the week about
Mm-hmm.
value proposition and being credible and how it can help you appear credible
Mm-hmm.
and how you could become credible behind it. But then get this, topped it off with a live
That's nice.
talk
That's good.
about your post for the
Yeah.
week, right? So
Yeah.
it's all, but that's the same way your content would look.
Right.
So it's being consistent. It's that flow, it's that tone, it's all of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's about, this is I would say the people either don't like to write at all. That's like, because most writers are creative people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you talk to me about technical stuff, about the money part, oh, don't forget to do your books. What? Let me hire
Yeah.
somebody for that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like, well, when I tell you what I know about content and how powerful it could be, because content, people are like, I don't need that. But you see these bulletin boards, you see these flash ads, they're
Mm-hmm.
intrusive. They're intrusive. And but content marketing is a strategy that will always be relevant. Because once
Yes.
once you hone into that message, that stays the same all the time. The only thing you're doing is you are giving them more, you're adding to that, you're building, you're giving them more information, You're giving them refreshed information.
Yeah.
So refreshing your website, refreshing your social media. So next week, there's another theme. There you go.
Yeah.
You're refreshing your message. I
But
mean,
that's
refreshing
teaching
your
too.
content. Say it again.
Like that's teaching also. Like, I'm a trainer. I've
Mm-hmm.
been a trainer for like more than 10 years. And so with training, like people have to hear the same thing almost, or the same about the same topic in order for
Yeah.
them, for you to basically be teaching them, or to be
Yeah.
impacting them, or they're learning something. So when you do like what you're saying, a whole week of the same topic, you're really teaching them something. But
You're
if you
teaching.
switch up your topic every day, you're on live doing this one day.
Yes.
I mean, they may be good topics, but they're not memorable because
Memory.
you're switching every day.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That's
that's
what I'm
awesome.
saying. So that's just something that I learned works. And it, good point. You have this today, have that tomorrow.
Yeah,
It just seems like it's all over the place,
right.
right? But when you do that, people see that you're organized
Mm-hmm.
and that your thoughts are organized. So if your thoughts are organized, if your business is organized, if you just look professional and they see, okay, she's concise.
Mm.
Okay, she is credible, right? So one thing I learned, I'll tell you this, when I first started this business, everything all that I'm telling you is self-taught. I had to learn to
Mm.
do all of this, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
and when I say it's a proven system, it's a proven system.
Mm-hmm.
But you need your content to be right. I'm not asking you to hire me. I'm
Right.
asking you to hire the right person, or like me, be self-taught. But I know that flex your voice has something to do with that.
Mm.
Because you want to flex your voice, then by all means, that's how I'm empowering you. This right here, what we're doing today, is empowering. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
empowered just talking about it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Because I know how effective it can be.
Mm-hmm.
I know how effective. And I'll tell you something else. I've been doing curriculums for members of the empowerment industry, thought leaders, right? So when I'm helping them build their curriculums for their webinars, for their coaching classes and things like that, I'm empowered just by reading what they're doing. So it's like these people, each one of them have their unique selling points, and guess what? Flex your voice, help them get that unique selling point out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're building off of it. Now they're building their webinars. Now they're building their social media pages. Now they're building I tell you that, and you mentioned this in the beginning, during this pandemic, everybody had to pivot, you
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody had to pivot. So, I'm not a speaker. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider myself a speaker. This thing is new for me.
Yeah.
Doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
But at the same time, I had to pivot as well. You know what I'm saying? And I need to be present. I needed to get out in front of the folk because I need them to know how important content look, I want you to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
Let's grow some legacies here. You know what I'm saying? Kingdom legacies.
Yes.
That's what I want you to do, and that's what I saw our first conversation. That's the vision I had for you. You
Mm-hmm.
are connecting folk, and that's huge. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. So these folks now they're getting out there because you have connected them and to the right resources and everything. So now what's their next step?
Mm.
Right? They're connected with the right resources and outsources and all of that. But what are they doing next?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how are they getting that message out there?
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're connected to the right folk, to the right platforms, how are they getting their message out there? You know what I'm saying? So those are the 7 C's.
That's
And
awesome.
but let me tell you something. A quick reply would be 3 C's, right? Which are part of the 7. However, they are a quick preview. You know what I mean? A quick resource for you. If you can't get to the 7, the 3 that you need to really, really focus on, if you can't get to that 7,
Mm-hmm.
always think about consistency.
Mm.
Always think about credibility, right? What did you think? What would you think the 3rd one would be?
I don't know, because the first I thought of consistency before when you were about to say the 3 C's.
Yes.
Um, I don't know what's the 3rd one?
Clarity.
Clarity. That's huge. That makes sense.
Yes.
A lot of
So
sense.
clarity, consistency, and I forgot the 3rd one
Credibility.
that quick.
Credibility.
Credibility. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 most important ones.
Hmm.
When you want to in the realm of everything, you
Right.
need to be quick with it. You need to be quick with it. Just think, because that those kind of embody all 7, if you
Right.
think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if at least keep those in mind, if you at least keep those in mind when you're getting your message out there, do that,
Mm-hmm.
and then research, get back with me about the 7. You know what I'm saying? You can
Mm.
do your own research. The information is out there. I'm not the first to come up with it, but I'm the first, I can tell you right now, who have put them into play, and it has been proven that they work.
Wow.
I'm not saying that I'm the expert on them. All I'm saying that I am proof that they work.
Right.
And I will say, an expert at contextual therapy. That's what I can tell you I'm an expert at.
Yeah.
And um, it's what I love to do. It's my passion. I have bridged, like I said, mental health therapy with contextual therapy. Mental health therapy, yeah, I was empowering people, or am empowering, um, but there was a void for me. So in honing my message, I have bridged and have found what that void is, and
Mm.
that's empowering people with my words, and that's where I am right now.
That's awesome. That is so, oh my gosh. This is like a great discussion. And also it's great for even during this time for people to work
Yes.
on these 7 C's. This is a
Mm-hmm.
great time to work on that.
Yeah, it is a
Especially
very
since, like you said, everybody's pivoting, with social media, having to do a lot of lives and, just connecting more with their audience.
yes.
So how can we find you?
Okay, so I am pretty much everywhere on social media. Okay,
Okay.
but the quickest way to get me is a Facebook Messenger. I've leveraged that. That's a quick way to get a hold of me. But let me give you, so Facebook / Hurt and Poet LLC, or LinkedIn, Hurt and Poet LLC. My website is www.hurtandpoetllc.com. So those are the ways you can connect with me. I will say, I offer 30-minute consultation, complimentary. So why not just talk to me and let me hone into your brand for you? Then you can make a decision from there.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the informed information you need so you can make the decision to take action, right?
Yes.
But at the
I love
same
it.
time, if you feel like you can do it, by all means. We're doing things like this to help you um, with making that decision. So I'm just all about people being empowered. You know, I just want to see everybody build their legacy and do their thing. Like we all out here struggling together, and this is I have a resource that can help you make to that next level. So
Yes,
that's where
that's
I am.
so awesome. That's so
Yeah,
awesome. And
thank
just so
you.
you know, like I said before, everyone, I personally have spoken with her, and she was amazing. And then I was actually able to connect other people with her
Yes, you
that is
absolutely did.
enjoying
Thank you
working
so
with her.
much. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so contact her. Thank you again, Alicia, for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank
I
you
hope to
so
have you on
much.
again about the
Yes.
other topic. Value,
Yes.
what was it? Value.
Value proposition. Yeah,
We'll
let's
have
come
to
back
talk
on
about
and
that in the
talk about
future.
that. Yeah,
Yes,
and
that'll be amazing. Yes.
yeah, and unique selling points. We can kind of tie those two together. So yeah, I'll
Yes,
do that.
awesome. Well, thank you again. We look forward to having you again. I hope everyone enjoyed this discussion. I know I have. It's exciting, and I learned a lot. So, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye bye.